3, 2, 1. Are you ready? I said, are you ready for this? This is the Morning Kickoff Footy Podcast. Your hosts are Oli Maguire, Sordid Sorin. Hang on. Has anyone seen the shovel to dig up Gazza? We need air fresheners too. He proper humdings. Sorry, yes, Gazza will be here, and the living legend that is truly wonderful, famous, best-selling author, actor, and podcast host, Deano. Have a good episode, lads. I'll see you at the outro. Is that Gary I can smell?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Morning Kickoff. With me today, Gazza and Oli.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Welcome back. We had a break for a couple of weeks. Now we're back. No sorin today, so it'll fly through this episode. There'll be no swearing. Gazza?
No.
There'll be no swearing. There'll be...
Maybe.
No stories about being teleported from a kick from a cow.
I never swear, I'm always well behaved.
You are, indeed. Here's what's coming up in the show. I'm not saying it's realistic, it's what I would want, and it's a manager who's not working right now. The other one would be Ron Atkinson. Gazza? No, Ron Atkinson.
Yeah.
Big
Ron.
Isn't
Big
he
Ron.
Mr. Bean?
What?
Ron Atkinson.
No.
Rowan Atkinson, you twat. Is it still in here?
In that direction.
Guys, open your door.
Got it.
Got it.
2000 to 2010.
2010. Right. 2000 to 2010.
Goalkeeper.
Tim Flowers.
No. I had two, and I was going backwards and forwards. But
You did Seaman the other week, didn't you?
yeah,
So it's not him.
no.
You know Seaman, don't you?
Yeah, it's all over my face.
What we've been up to on the 2 weeks we've been off then, guys? Been
No,
dark in the ground, hasn't it?
Very, not a lot in there, mate.
It's been raining.
Decorating, working.
What, you coughing?
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, just working, decorating, playing football.
Olivier.
I've had the old grassroots football season come to an end, so I made it through to the end of the season, so I was happy about that.
So have you retained your status as a football association affiliated referee?
Yeah, I'll be allowed to referee next season as well, so
So you're
that's
gonna
nice. Although they did have me on a under-11s game this week, which I wasn't very happy about. But
That's a step up in it from under 10s.
no, I didn't actually do it. I said I wouldn't go. I refused.
Did you?
Yeah, actually, I said I'm not doing under-11s.
Why?
Well, I'm too good for that.
Too good.
So
Too good.
So what age? What's your lowest age group?
14.
14.
No, I think that's where the standard for me is enough to kind of get involved. They're a bit leery. They like to sort of push each other a little bit. I quite like all of that because then I get to get involved a little bit. To do the old Mike Dean. Under 10s, nah, they're not really. They're still learning a little bit, aren't they? So
is it completely different then?
yeah, I want like them to kind of want to fight each other.
Why?
Well, because then you can stop it, get involved, you can get some cards out, give them a little warning at the beginning of the game. Listen, chaps, look, you two are the captains, right?
Ollie, have you ever thought about being a traffic warden?
Or a boxing ref?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'd like to do the boxing ref thing, where they gloves together, touch gloves.
I don't know. Would you not just rather be doing men's league football?
I started at that, but that was too much.
What?
That was way too much. So I found
What are you working up to here?
Well, I found a happy medium. So
Under 14s?
okay, so 14 to like 17, they will bark at you, but then you can sort of growl back and they'll back down pretty quick because they're still like sort of puppies. But whereas men, they don't stop. Like, they were just relentless, and you possibly could get chinned.
Yeah.
I've come close before. I've gone, like, I've had to tell someone to, like, just move away from the pitch. You've been given a red card, you're a sub, you're shouting at me, right? Abuse, like proper abuse, C word, F word, all of that. And you're like, you've got to move away from the pitch. No, what are you going to do, mate? What are you going to do?
And after the game as well, waiting for you probably.
Whereas a 14, 15-year-old, mate, you've got to move away. The manager kind of still there. He can kind of step in. He's not ballsy enough to just stand up to you, regardless of if other people are trying to pull him away and he's trying to fight you. The 14-year-old sort of like, the bottom lip might still start going a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the 14 to 16. They're still kind of a bit fearful because they sort of in their heads think I have absolute control and power, whereas a 25, 28-year-old bloke
just straight out dicks.
he's just going to punch me. So I came away from that quite quick.
If you want to know the results this week, guys, Google it.
Yeah, Google it. Who do you think we are?
We're not doing results.
We ain't the BBC.
Nah, fuck
So we're just going to chat. We're just going to chat.
We're just going to chat. It's just a chilled out episode
Okay.
where we're just going to chat about the football. Has anyone got any shout outs?
No.
I've got some shout outs. The lads at Pro Hire, Stephen Morris, Dominic, Nick, Chris, James, Sarah, big Man City supporter who's the director of the business, Gary. Driving up to Stoke, I was with Stephen Morris talking about Cole Palmer, and he was saying how great Paul Gascoigne is, and Paul Gascoigne is his all-time favourite player. I said that if Gazza is 10 out of 10, Cole Palmer is 7 out of 10 right now, but he's so young, he will be 11 out of 10 in the next 2-3 years. He couldn't wrap his head around what I'd said. Cole Palmer, I don't know if you've seen him play, he is just something else. And even Pochettino's saying it's not Cole Palmer FC.
Well, that's what they're saying. If he wasn't in the team with his goals, they would be in the bottom 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But he's just fantastic. And what Gazza did in the Euros and what he did for Spurs and Lazio and Rangers and all the teams that he played for was great. But Cole Palmer will be even better.
You got to think as well, Cole Palmer grew up seeing the Gazzas, seeing all these players that were playing, and then based their game. So the next ones that come after the Cole Palmers should technically be better than Cole Palmer. But you can argue Cole Palmer probably is going to be better than Gazza.
Cole Palmer, definitely.
But is he better than Foden? Because he's on fire this year.
There's another one, isn't he?
There's two of them. You've got Foden and Cole Palmer, but they're both playing out of their skins at the minute. If Foden gets a hat-trick, Cole Palmer gets a hat-trick.
Yeah.
That's the way it's worked. They've got two of them got hat-tricks in the same week.
And then you just chuck Bellingham in there as well. I mean, England.
Yeah, Jude Bellingham's playing for Real Madrid, though, in a really shitty league. Isn't it? It's like the Scottish League. You've just got 2 or 3 teams in there. That's it.
Well, that's not what Kieran Tierney said this week. He said that the standard of players in the La Liga is just as good, if not better, than the Premier League.
Talking out of his arse.
But they're in the semi-final of the Champions League. None of our teams are.
Yeah, well, we've got Villa, haven't we? Villa are in...
Yeah, in the Conference Cup.
Yeah, in Grimsby, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's what Steve said as well. We ain't that great. We ain't that great because we've got nothing representing in the European Cups. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Can't be great at everything. Liverpool have been fucking terrible. Bottle jobs. Same as Leeds. Bottle jobs.
Yeah.
Who else has bottled it?
Spurs for top 4, maybe.
You're not going in top 4?
I don't think so. I called that because we've obviously just lost to Newcastle and Arsenal. We've got Chelsea and Liverpool away, so I think that's 4 on the spin. We're not going to even win. I just can't see us winning. I can't see us winning.
Are you going to get top 6?
Yeah, but not top 4.
So what does top 6 get you?
If we get 5th, Europa League.
Wow.
It's 7 points ahead of United with a game in hand.
Yeah, I mean, they're shocking, United, but Tottenham's still got a chance. We need them to believe they've got a chance because they need to do us a favour.
City at home.
Yeah. Ain't gonna. It's just not, is it?
We're just saying we've got smashed by Newcastle, lost to Arsenal, we've got Chelsea away and Liverpool away next 2, Thursday and Sunday.
When you're playing Chelsea?
Thursday.
You
never know what Chelsea are going to turn up.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get with Chelsea. No. You could win 4-0, 5-0.
Bizarre. They are bizarre. They're the most bizarre team in the whole of the Premier League this year.
They're a young team, a really young team at the minute. And the experience that they had in Thiago Silva is gone. He's gone now.
Yeah.
Ben Chilwell was one of the old ones. Conor Gallagher's probably going to go because they need the profit.
Sterling, he's old.
Sterling's probably going to go to Uganda, whichever country's going to have him.
Rwanda.
Yeah, Rwanda. Get him out to Rwanda.
On top of the plane. Dinghy.
Fucking hell. Yeah, get him out there. But yeah, they need an overall of the squad. But I think they need to invest in a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
Man, I love your soccer show. We gotta hold it there, the guys, and get this fucking awful advert out the way. Back soon.
Do you have a fleet of diesel vehicles in the south of England? Do you always have downtime with vehicles lost in workshops? Call Williams Diesels, your one-stop shop for on-site repairs. Williams Diesels, voted London's best fleet mobile repairer for London 2024. Services, repairs, MOTs, safety inspections, brakes and clutches, all done on site. We are mobile to keep you mobile. Do you replace windscreens due to chips or cracks? We repair chips and cracks for our customers, reducing the need for a replacement and and saving you money. Call now to find out how we can save you time and, more importantly, money. Call 0753 7171 606 or visit us at williamsdiesels.com. Williams Diesels. We are mobile to keep you mobile.
Grimsby Town. There's nothing really much to say about that, and I know a lot of people like it when I go on my little rant about Grimsby Town. We've got a manager in David Artell, who, when Grimsby, when he took over, I think Oxford United was his first game, was in the FA Cup. We lost 2-0, something like that. And then we lost a couple of games, we won a couple of games, and he came out and said, don't get carried away that we've won. This is not anything that I want to be playing, that the lads need to buy into what it is that I want. Now, he made the Grimsby Town team play out from the back, and we had Harvey Cartwright in goal. We had him on loan from, I think, Hull City. It was awful. We shipped 27 goals in 5 games, something crazy like that. We lost so many games. We was losing games beforehand, but we had something about us when Paul Hurst was in charge. Since David Artell has taken over, we seem to have gone backwards. Now, we got 6 points, fortunately, in 2 games, which kept us up. But there's no way Grimsby Town should have been 20th out of 24. It's disgraceful. And there's no way you're going to celebrate that. And we lost against Crawley as well. Even though we was better side in the first 20 minutes, we should have been 2-0 up. We weren't, because that's the way that Grimsby are at the moment. So whether David Artell is the man to take us forward, I do not know. I don't see it, unless over the summer he's going to do something that he's not been able to do since December last year. For me, they need to draw a line in the sand and go, do you know what? It's not worked out. It's just not happened. And I know the chairman has said that he's sticking by Artell. If things don't go right in the first 10 games next season, he needs to walk. And that's all I've got to say on the matter. Season's finished. Nothing to celebrate. Don't ask for a player of the year. It's disgraceful.
You can celebrate staying up.
No, I had this with Stephen Morris on the way up to Stoke. You cannot celebrate staying up. You can't be like an Everton, celebrating by a point staying in the Premier League.
Well, if your expectations were set higher than that anyway, then you're not going to celebrate it. But if you were like, let's just say you were Wrexham, who didn't have all the money and came up and stayed up, that's quite a good achievement for a club that, obviously not like a Wrexham club with all the money, but someone coming out of the National League and into Div 2 and then staying up.
The thing with Wrexham is Wrexham paid Division 1 wages.
Yeah.
And bought Division 1 type players. So that got them into where they are going to be. The gulf between Division 1 and the Championship is equivalent to Championship Premier League, as we've just seen now.
Yeah, so who's coming up this year from the National League? Like Solly Moore or something like that? Is that right?
No, it's not been announced, but Chesterfield have got the promotion, haven't they?
They smashed it, didn't they?
Right, so they don't have Wrexham money, do they, Chesterfield?
I doubt it.
So if they came up and did a Grimsby this year, you'd celebrate that if you were a Chesterfield fan, wouldn't you?
No, because I think Chesterfield have only been down 2 years, 3 years, something like that. I don't think they've been down that long.
Well, how long have Grimsby been in League 2?
They've just, I think that's their second year.
That's quite good.
Yeah, but we went down for a year and came straight back up on the back of...
So it's quite good. No. What you I think your expectations of them are way beyond...
They were in one of my ACCAs to be in the playoffs, and I'm surprised that they...
Chesterfield won the league by 12 points.
Yeah.
So if they come up next season and stay up, that's quite good for them.
I don't know what their club is in terms of what they've got cash wise. The only thing I can imagine is if Chesterfield have got X amount of money coming from the VARs or the promotion and cup run and this and the next thing, they may well turn around and go, we need to just hold in Div 2 and then get reinvestment.
So going on about Chesterfield, they actually own the Chesterfield FC Community Trust. They owe the football club owe them 10 million. A lot of that debt was owed to Mr. Allen, who donated to the trust as part of a purchase in 2020. And their two most experienced players, Will Grigg, striker, him and Tom Naylor, are both on 4k a week. It's their highest earners.
$4,000 a week.
It's a lot of money for that league.
Is that the Will Grigg that they do the song about?
Yeah.
Will Grigg is on fire.
Yeah.
Your defence is terrified. Will Grigg is on fire.
Never heard of it.
And they changed it to Bardi, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, he's kind of known. Who did he play for before them then? Will Grigg.
Gazza will Google that right now.
32. Let's have a look.
There's some bigger club. He's obviously...
How old's that Mullins?
He's about 28, 29.
Yeah.
So Will Griggs played for Stratford, Walsall, Brentford, Milton Keynes, Wigan, Sunderland, Milton Keynes, Rotherham, Milton Keynes again, Chesterfield, and Northern Ireland.
I think it was the Sunderland days when that song came about. I've got a question about League 2. So, you know, there's a drought in what they were saying, managers for the Premiership. Look, this Arnie Slot is apparently the next. Well, he is now the next Liverpool manager.
Isn't he? Yeah.
But they were saying, who would you get rid of Ten Hag now? Probably not. Even though, if there was a great big choice of managers, you might. I know Gareth Southgate's been thrown about, but most teams are not getting rid of managers because there's just not that many to pick from. What about League Two? You're saying get rid of the Grimsby manager. Is there that many to pick from, or is
there is. I would have Graham Potter in there straight away.
You can't.
And I can't have Antonio Conte because he's just gone to Napoli. I'd have Graham Potter in there straight away.
He doesn't want League Two. So
I don't care. That's what I'd want, and he's available.
That's not realistic.
I'm not saying it's realistic. It's what I would want, and it's a manager who's not working right now. The other one would be Ron Atkinson. Gazza, no, Ron Atkinson.
Yeah,
Big
Ron.
Isn't
Big
he
Ron.
Mr. Bean.
What?
Ron Atkinson.
No.
Rowan Atkinson, you twat.
You know.
You want Mr. Bean as a manager?
No, Glenn free with Eileen. Come on, Eileen.
Wow, Rowan Atkinson.
Okay, so that was not a question you were going to answer seriously, because the truth is he's probably not going to get a better manager than what you got at the moment.
There's one League Two manager who's on 45k a year. Pretty naff, isn't it, for a manager?
45 grand a year.
League Two manager. Doesn't say who.
That's nothing.
No.
That's got to be one of the lowest paid managers.
Yeah,
Then.
it's one of the 100 highest paid players in the fourth tier of English football. Only 19 of them earn north of 200k a year. Wrexham's total wage bill for 2023 is 5.221.
Yeah, in terms of managers, I think a lot of Div 2 turn to the National League. So when you see a Solihull Moors, or you see a Chesterfield, or you see a Wrexham, the established Div 2s would look naturally to someone like that. But then you need the ones that have got the experience. And I think where David Artell has got the experience of Division 1 and taking Crew up to Division 1, this is why they're sticking with him.
I've got the man you need as your manager. Sol Campbell. He's looking for a job.
Didn't he do Mansfield?
He did somewhere, didn't he?
He did Div 2. He was awful. He was awful. And he ain't got a clue. I think he's stopped now. I think he's...
Yeah, he wanted England. He wanted to know why he wasn't...
considered for the England job. I think he actually went for the Grimsby position as well. But he's just...
What about Troy Deeney?
I'd take Troy Deeney. The only thing with him is he's got a lack of experience as a manager like Wayne Rooney. I mean, you just got to look at Birmingham now. Gone from 5th when they sacked the manager to putting Rooney in charge, and
they were actually 6th, and they're now 2nd to bottom or 3rd from bottom.
3rd from bottom. So you kind of like your Frank Lampard's. What have they done? Your Steven Gerrard's. What have they done? They've gone to an easy club like Rangers, protected in the way that the league is just like 2 or 3 teams, and then.
A lot of managers now are ex-players, though. A lot of them are coming through.
But you can start off in League 2, or you can start off lower and build that management up and build that experience up. But to go from Rangers straight into Aston Villa, it tells you the gulf in management style that Aston Villa are now firing on all cylinders and doing really well under a really established manager. And Gerrard's nowhere to be seen.
We were talking about this a few weeks ago now. Ex-players that have made it. I mean, apart from yours, who else in the Premier League is an ex-player that's actually doing really well, apart from Arteta?
Like, really well. I don't know. I mean, you've got Xavi, obviously a Barca, but he's not there for much longer.
No, he's going.
But lots of them are kind of ex.
Sorry, apart from, Alonso.
Pep was an ex-player. So they are ex-players. Most of these players, Conte played. He played. So they are ex-players, but for whatever reason, some are good, some aren't.
And Conte is a quality manager.
Going to Napoli next, isn't he?
Napoli is signed too. Going back to Troy Deeney, the problem with that is you've got a really good player.
We have a fly.
They've gone back in there.
Yeah.
Fucking.
So Dino's got an electronic tennis racket and he's trying to swat a fly with it.
Yeah. Is the management style? I mean, you've got to look at the Forest. He went in at Forest Green, all guns blazing, but he called it out for what it was, which was the players felt that they were justified to stay in that league, but the position that they were in was because of the players. The players were useless.
Yeah, and he was calling them.
Called it all out.
Yeah,
but it didn't work. So is that the right management style to go in with if you're a young new manager who hasn't managed for a while? Maybe if a Conte went in there and did the same thing, he might have got a response, because they would go, all right, look, he's done it, he's been there, he's done it, he's screaming blood blue murder at us, but we've got to go out, we've got to listen to him. Whereas when Troy Deeney comes in and starts doing it, are you really going to take what he says in the same way? So I think Troy Deeney got it completely wrong.
I think he got it completely wrong, but I think that's due to his immaturity and his lack of experience. Yes.
I think a lot of these guys should actually look at, instead of going straight into a job, you just go to a club, be a number 2 or an under 21 manager, under 19. Start, within a club, stay there for a few years, build yourself up, get yourself a reputation, then go off to a League 2 or League 1 or whatever.
Yeah, like John Terry's done with Dean.
He was at Villa, wasn't he?
Yeah, on the thingy Dean. Is it still in here?
In that direction.
Gazza, open your door.
Got it.
Got it.
Fucking hell. Like Yvonne Goolagong.
There you go.
Do you know who I find weird, who I see on the TV quite a lot? Who's the bloke who was... I'm pretty sure he was England manager and he's at United now.
McLaren.
Steve McLaren.
Wally with the brolly.
What's he doing at United?
Speaking Dutch, speaking English, speaking Chinese. Depends what team he's coaching, doesn't
Yeah.
it? But he's number 2 to Ten Hag because he was over in Holland, wasn't he?
Well, he was under Fergie, wasn't he, before he went?
He was under Fergie and then he took the job in Holland after the England manager and all the rest of it. Or before.
He's a bit too big to be a number 2, isn't he?
No,
No, he's
terrible.
Yeah.
Well, he should have always been a number 2.
Yeah, he's a number 2. McLaren he is a typical number 2. Shit.
Sam Allardyce, he got a job.
No, he did Leeds, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's blown it now, hasn't he?
Got finished.
Yeah, I think he was ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he did wonders at Bolton, didn't he?
Yeah, his time was with England and then he just fucked himself over when he took that bribe or whatever it was that he did. Ideally, his swan song was England. I think he did 67 days in charge of England.
One game, wasn't it? One win.
Yeah, he's come out, he's done interviews on it. He said he felt betrayed by the FA.
Why? He'd agreed to take 100 grand to do something.
I don't know what it was, but he felt...
It was to do this podcast.
Yeah. I'll ring. I'll make a few calls and see if I can get Big Sam on. But yeah,
That'd be brilliant.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's another one who's with the England setup at the moment,
Yeah.
but hasn't really worked out managerial wise.
No, he had a couple of clubs, didn't he? But yeah.
Yeah, and that other guy who ran Barnet, the Dutchman, not Rudolph, the one who got glaucoma, always plays with orange specs.
Oh, Edgar Davids.
Edgar Davids.
See, yeah, he does management now as well, doesn't he?
He was in charge of Barnet. And they went down into the Conference League and he used to turn up in his Rolls Royce at the training ground and tell everyone what to do. That was it. That was his management style, allegedly.
Basically, some will work, some won't, and I don't think clubs really know how to tell who's actually very good and will go on to be an Arteta and who isn't.
You have one fucking shot, Gary. Don't fuck this up. Tell the listeners your England team of the decade. This is GGG.
Have we got a GGGG?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah, can do.
I'll cut it out.
Yeah, cut it out. 2000 to 2010.
2000, 2010. Right, 2000 to 2010.
Goalkeeper.
Tim Flowers.
I had 2 and I was going backwards and forwards. But
You did Seaman the other week, didn't you?
yeah,
So it's not him.
no.
You know Seaman, don't you?
Yeah, it's all over my face.
From Dino's dog.
Kazzy, you have to take it to a different level. When Soren's not here, he somehow channels his inner fucking Sorenness. Are you going to use Seaman for it?
Not at my
He
age.
can't.
He can, if he
can't.
chooses to.
No, he can't produce it.
What, his age?
That's what I just said, but you weren't listening.
No, I was listening, but I was being serious. That
I'm not using players that I've used already. That's
Right,
That's
okay.
been my thing, so I'm not going to do that.
All right, so for your goalkeeper,
You ready? Shall I tell you the one I'm not putting in, who I thought I was going to put in?
Paul Robinson.
He was the one I was going to put in. And
Spurs.
I changed it.
I mean, the goalkeepers of that era, I know you haven't got started yet, but they were useless. England goalkeepers, really up till now. Between Seaman and
yeah,
now.
but I think it's changed, hasn't it? It's changed. If you listen to Ray Parlour about what he talks about, what they all got up to before a game, smoking, drinking, after a game, smoking, drinking,
Gambling.
turning up pissed, like playing a substitute. I'm pissed up on the night before.
Yeah, but Seaman was good. Like then, that's what I'm saying is
Shilton,
the gap between.
Had him before.
have you?
And Clements.
I don't know who else was in goal during that time.
Right, shall I
Robinson.
just
Go on,
read
do
this
it,
out then?
do it.
Right, goalkeeper, 53 caps, 21 clean sheets, David James.
No way would I have him in my team.
He was
Portsmouth.
though. He was the
Liverpool,
England goal.
Portsmouth, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 12 caps more than Robbo.
I guess it's different for you because you're trying not to use someone that you've already used, whereas
Yeah.
I think I would have had Seaman.
Seaman was
All
there for
over Ollie's face
the
again.
early years of that era, that decade. My back four
Tony Adams.
is probably the biggest, most experienced with amount of caps. So I've got right back Gary Neville, 85 caps, no goals. Left back Ashley Cole, 107 caps, no goals. Centre backs, Rio, 81 caps, 3 goals.
Can't stand Rio Ferdinand.
I know, and alongside John Terry,
You couldn't have that. They still don't speak.
Goals.
They still don't speak.
I know, but that's who I whacked in there. Midfield, I've gone for Beckham on the right.
Yeah,
115 caps, 17 goals. Gerrard, 114 caps, 21 goals. Is a contentious one. Hargreaves.
No, Owen Hargreaves. He was Canadian. No.
42 caps, no goals.
He played in Germany, didn't he?
Yeah, I put the holding role. He could.
No, Frank Lampard all day long.
No, I put Scholes in.
You wanker. Why would you have Owen Hargreaves in there and not Frank Lampard?
Because Lampard and Gerrard couldn't play together.
Yeah, but you was going for experience in goals, and Lampard.
I know, but I got Scholes in there. 66 games for England, 14 goals.
Wanker.
And then up front, Michael Owen, 89 caps, 40 goals.
Rooney.
No, he's going to be next in the next era, I think. I've got Owen's playing partner, Heskey.
No way.
Because
he was
the
dog shit.
Yeah, but the pair of them played, they complemented each other.
Gary, he used to fall over.
I know, but then Owen would score.
No.
He used to fall over, didn't he?
Yeah.
All the time, he used to fall over.
62 caps, 7 goals. And then my manager, it was either out of Wally with the brolly, which I couldn't have in, so I put Sven as the manager.
Sven Goran Eriksson, yeah.
67.
It's fitting for that time of the year, I think. At that time of that decade.
That era.
Who else could you have had instead of Heskey?
I'll tell you.
Gazza.
It's got to be a better
Rio,
than
I
Heskey.
think you've fucked up there by having Owen Hargreaves in, if I'm honest.
I took Lampard out because I just thought the Gerrard-Lampard thing, so that was the real.
Yeah, but they're not. This is hypothetical, Gazza.
I put him in as a holding. Yeah, but I like to have a team that's going to actually perform as well. But let me just tell you.
Jermaine Defoe instead of Heskey?
Yeah.
Was he around then?
Didn't play that many times.
Even have Matt Letizia, who wasn't in your previous one.
How many times did he play for England?
Once.
There you go.
Probably.
Heskey?
Yeah.
Heskey, I think, if you ask me who's the worst footballer you've ever seen, it would be Heskey.
I could have had Kevin Phillips.
No.
He's just been sacked, I think.
I could have had
Hartlepool.
Robbie Fowler was...
Robbie Fowler
Yeah,
all
Robbie
day
Fowler.
long. All
But
day long.
He was only there right at the end, the start of the 2000s. In the latter years, up to 2010 and onwards, you got Crouch, Defoe.
I won't have either of them.
There's not. There wasn't.
Defoe, maybe.
Defoe and Owen.
I've not really looked at the year and what players are available for that time, but I defo would not have had Heskey and I defo would not have had Owen. Owen Hargreaves, sorry.
That's the good thing about football, isn't it? Everybody's got different opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Well done, Garrett.
Yeah.
Head to the British Podcast Awards. Vote for the listener's choice. Give MKO Footy Pod your vote. Your podcast needs you.
A little roundup of Div 2. So Wrexham on the last day of the season beat Stockport 2-1. Stockport went up with Wrexham and Mansfield, I believe. Was that a playoff?
No, that's it. Those three went up.
There's got to be a playoff, hasn't there?
Mansfield third, MK Dons fourth.
So you've got MK Dons, Doncaster Crew and Crawley.
Tell you what, Doncaster, I think they did something like 10 games in succession. They came up with some form. They were bottom of the league at the beginning of the season. They were struggled badly. But for the last 10 games, every single game they won. They've done so well. One of my tips for next season is going to be Doncaster if they can build on this year. And Grimsby, obviously. So we got playoffs. Who's the playoffs then? Doncaster? Who's the ones you said?
Mansfield, Doncaster, MK Dons and Crew.
Oh, Mansfield didn't take promotion. It was just Wrexham and...
See the last three Sutton games? They're all draws. 4-4, 2-2, 2-2.
Hey.
Yeah, on goal difference.
I did tell the chairman that.
Yeah, I know you did.
Never mind. I don't think we'll be getting an invite to go back there again.
Shithole.
Yeah. It's a proper shithole, that is. They belong in the conference.
It was much better at Haven.
Yeah. It looked it as well.
Yeah.
I didn't get an invite, but
Yeah, you did. I said, were you coming along?
Yeah,
You had something. You had something else on.
pizza and Prosecco at 2 o'clock. Don't come before. Div 1, Derby and Pompey. Derby I had in my 10 grand ACCA. Came second. I needed them to come first. I needed Wrexham to come first. They came second, but Derby was the team that everyone was worried about, but they did really well. They came into form around about January, February time. Started picking up points.
It's funny that, right? Those two teams, Portsmouth not that long ago had financial problems. I think they may have gone into administration. Is that right, Gazza?
Yeah, I think they did actually, yeah.
And Derby as well.
Derby got 18 points taken off them. They went bankrupt, didn't they?
So you can turn it round.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you only have to look at Lincoln, who went from non-league, Div 2, Div 1, and then just missed out on playoffs, sorry.
Even third, Bolton Pretty sure they had
Bolton.
they
problems
did, yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
You got Bolton.
That's bizarre, that league. Looking at that game, those three teams all had major financial problems, administrators knocking on the door. And they're all now...
Well, so did Crystal Palace, and look at Crystal Palace now. They're flying, absolutely flying. A pleasure to watch. Not so much this weekend, they were terrible, but against Fulham, when I've watched them play, they're doing something good with that squad, really are.
Playoffs of Bolton, Peterborough, Oxford and Barnsley.
Oxford got in. Peterborough won that silly cup, didn't they?
Yeah.
Not sure who's going to make that one.
Always feel sorry for the team that come third and then don't get promoted. Especially if they've got shitloads of points. A bit like Leeds, where they got 90 points and they're not promoted.
They got 90? Yeah, but they've played like 2 games over Ipswich, haven't they?
Yeah, Ipswich have got 90 as well, but a game in hand.
Yeah. Where's Leicester, what, 95?
94.
94.
Leeds have got 1 game left, so they could...
Leeds are not going to do it.
Leeds could get 93 points and not get promoted.
Yeah.
That's mad.
But the bottom half of the table's sorted itself out since we was on our last podcast, hasn't it? It was really tight between 12th, 13th, and the Rotherham had already gone down. But Sheff Wednesday, I believe, dug themselves out of a grave.
Yeah,
now.
they're on 50. Yeah,
But they still could go technically down, but they're in a better position.
I was going on about Swansea being in there, and they're not in it now. They've got themselves out of trouble.
Millwall, where are they sitting? I think it's Birmingham.
Millwall's 16th now. They've got 56 points.
They're out of it. They're fine. So Birmingham, where's Birmingham sitting?
22nd, they're third from bottom.
Point behind Plymouth.
Oh, fuck me, it's Plymouth and Birmingham. That's who it's going to be out of, isn't it? It's going to be either Plymouth or Birmingham. I reckon that's going to go down.
The ones that are in it, Blackburn, Sheffield Wednesday, Plymouth, Birmingham, Huddersfield, and obviously Rotherham are already gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's those. Stoke, QPR, Millwall, probably safe.
They're safe.
But Plymouth have got the best goal difference out of all of those down there, which is quite interesting. Birmingham have got to play Norwich at home, but they're in the playoff position, Norwich.
Yeah, the Birmingham ain't going to win that. Who do we think is going to go down then? So you obviously had Swansea as one of your wild picks. I had Millwall.
You said Swansea and Plymouth, didn't you, Ollie?
Yeah.
Dean said Birmingham and Millwall.
Yeah.
And I said Sheffield Wednesday and Huddersfield.
Looks like we're all wrong. Nah, I reckon Birmingham's going to be the one.
Surprise me. Got a tough game against Norwich. Plymouth are at home to Hull, who are in playoff or just near the playoffs.
Who do you think out of the ones that didn't make the playoffs really need to do better next season? Sunderland? They're a big club. Sunderland
came up this year though, so I think they needed that time to just get level, just to be in there. I think if anything, you just need to say to Sunderland, like, you'd be punching if you was to go up to playoff.
Watford, they should have done better.
Norwich, Watford should do better because the amount of money they're getting from being in the Premier League.
I thought Middlesbrough might have kicked on a bit. I mean, they're 8th. They haven't done a bad season, but.
Well, they are terrible at the beginning of the season. They went 10 games without a win.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Millwall are just fucking Millwall, aren't they? You never know what you get with them.
Like Leeds and Millwall, I can't stand
Even
both.
Swansea were a Premier League team not that long ago.
Yeah.
They should have done better, mid-table rubbish.
Brendan Rodgers was one of their managers, wasn't he? Didn't he take them up? Neil Warnock?
The ones I look in there and think probably there or thereabouts right is probably Preston. 10th. Always in the Championship, never really do much.
Yeah.
Millwall.
Bristol City, Cardiff.
Cardiff always in the Championship, never really do an awful lot.
They've been in the Prem now, haven't they?
Cardiff, no.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, they did. They went up and came back down again, didn't they?
Yeah, Neil Warnock took them up.
And they bought that striker that never played for them.
When was that? Was that like Craig Bellamy era?
Yeah. No, he was Liverpool, wasn't he? Craig Bellamy. I don't think he was playing for Cardiff.
He did play for Cardiff.
Yeah, but I don't think he did to get them up. I think he was playing for Liverpool around that time.
Okay.
I think the big story in that league is Birmingham.
Yeah. Tom Brady, not happy. Fuck him.
So they've had 4 managers in one season, which has never happened before.
And they've got a previous manager managing them now.
Yeah. John Eustace was manager, 11 games, got him to 6th position, and they sacked him.
Yeah.
Rooney came in.
Took him down.
15 games, 2 wins. Yeah, awful. Didn't they get... who's the one that's ill now, who took over?
Tony Mowbray.
Tony Mowbray.
Yeah.
And now it's Gary Rowett, isn't it?
Gary Rowett's doing it now, who was originally with Birmingham.
Yeah, they go down. That's just fucking, what the fuck? It's awful. You don't sack a manager after 11 games when they got you into 6th position.
It was bizarre, the circumstances, and it was bizarre that Rooney had done nothing in America as well. But yet they wanted to put him in charge of Birmingham. Yeah. They got what they deserved, so I'm glad. Zulus are going down. What we're looking at, Ollie?
Just looking at some other teams, QPR, another one that don't really do an awful lot.
QPR.
Small ground.
They really struggled this season. They were bottom 3 at some stage this year. So they've done
but
well.
they smashed Leeds.
Great 4-0 win. Great 4-0 win.
You're going to have next year's Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United. That'd be a good little derby.
And possibly Pompey Southampton. That'd be
yeah.
big rivalry.
That'd be fun.
Scummers and skates.
Who's going to be relegated from the Premier League? It's going to be Burnley, Sheffield United, and Luton. Is that who the three def?
Sheffield United are down.
Yeah.
Forest, the only other team that could. I think it'd be out of Luton and Forest.
So there's another 3 games to play yet, isn't there?
I think Nottingham Forest looked very good against Man City and were unlucky not to have scored at least twice in that game.
The problem that you've got is Notts Forest have launched an appeal, which is going to be heard before the end of this season.
Yeah.
So it could well be that if they don't get that reduction, again, a reduction, then they could get points awarded, and I hope they do, because they should never have appealed it.
What if Nottingham Forest drop down below Luton? Luton think they're up, and then the appeal gets their points taken away, and that drops Luton back in to the relegation zone.
They'll probably get VAR to look at it.
You're just being facetious now, Gary.
So I'll tell you what, Forest's last 3 games, they've got Sheffield United away, so they're already down.
They'll win that.
They've got Chelsea at home.
They won't win that.
And then the big one, Burnley away.
Burnley, I thought...
Is that the last game of the season?
Yeah.
I thought Burnley played well. I thought they've done really well at times, and just they've never got the goals that they deserved.
That's a great game. Last game of the season, Burnley, Nottingham Forest.
Just derby, innit?
Just for the points that they both need, they could put one or other in the relegation zone if they lose.
And Luton's last 3, Everton at home. Everton are safe now, so
yeah.
West Ham away, not easy, and then Fulham at home.
All tough games for them.
Fulham playing really well.
2 home games for Luton, so that's in their hands as well.
I tell you who's the most disappointing in the Premier League this season, after all, and not the first half, but the second half, Brighton.
Yeah, they tailed off, didn't they, De Zerbi? But De Zerbi's he's not helped it, because every time he's had a interview, like I've watched him on ITV when he's been interviewed, and they've played on like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You see the ITV news and they do a cutaway to De Zerbi, and he says, and this the first thing they say, "Are you going to stay?" He says, "No." He says, "Not unless things change, or I've spoken to them, but at the minute, no."
Well, I think also Europe didn't help them with the amount of games, and they've got a lot of injuries at the moment. That hasn't helped. There's 2 other things. A small squad.
Yeah, I think it struggles. So you're saying De Zerbi's not happy with the management at Brighton, because that's always been complimented normally.
No, he's not happy with the way the talks are not progressing. There's no talks. So right now there's no talks. There's no talk of him staying. There's no contract that's going to be coming up. He wants to talk to the management or the powers that be, and he will make a decision based on what's said. But he's not happy, and that passes down to your squad.
I'm surprised Liverpool didn't look at it, or maybe they did. But
I think he just hasn't helped himself with the way Brighton have played the second half of the season. I think Liverpool have probably overlooked it and gone, I don't think he's the one.
Okay, guys, head over to our socials. They are all at MKO Footy Pod, Facebook, Twitter, Insta, and Tick Fucking Talk. See you there. Next up on MKO, the man, the myth, the fucking dull and droning legend in his own mind. Annoying, oily Maguire.
You know what? I think I want more right now.
So I was going to talk about this week the marketing mammoth that is the Premier League and how it has become
massive.
Talking of your Farmers League, German league. So basically, how big is it? How big was it? And when did it change to becoming what we know as now as the Premier League? So back the changing point, the turning point, and this report is kind of from around 2016, but they're saying when Hillsborough happened, which was 1989, is that right? Do we know Hillsborough? 1980s? 1989, FA Cup semi-final, led to a commitment. Yeah, so after that happened, the government, the UK government, led to committing funds / help in the way that maybe it might be some sort of advertising, the way that they tried to introduce better grass football, whatever they tried to do to turn the tide from being football was in the gutter, essentially. That's what they were saying, around 1989. And from that point onwards, a lot of the clubs started lobbying to shift the power from one club, one vote policy to a different type of voting system, and that's how the Premier League kind of became as big as it was. And then it was at the point where England were in the Italia 90 World Cup. I think they did pretty well. How far did they go in the Italia 90? Was it the final?
Semis.
Semis?
That's the Gazza one, wasn't it?
He would have missed
the final, yeah.
So the UK government basically said that was shining a positive light onto the game, and therefore we're going to commit funds to helping improve this product that is football. And from that point onwards, it just kind of elevated and got bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where we are now, which is where in the last transfer window we were like 600 million more spend across the entire league than the next biggest league. So the Premier League has basically just gone on to be enormous. And yeah, I suppose my question to you guys was, where does it go next? Because at the end of the day, they're still going to want to grow it. And are we going to start to lose, or have we already started losing? What?
Well, this is the point, isn't it, of the government now stepping in, because they're saying that the fans are getting left behind with what's happening with the Premier League. Certainly with the new television rights that kick off in 2026.
Yeah.
Now you've got Sky, who are doing the Premier League and paid top dollar for that, because BT's come out of it. They're not getting involved. They've got the record amount of money for the rights to show the Premier League games, and now Sky is showing all the EFL. So between the two pyramids, they're a monster. They're an absolute monster.
Yeah, so it actually said in this report that I found that a lot of the turning point was down to Sky.
It is. It is.
When they jumped on the bandwagon of the Premier League.
You had Sky, you had BT, and you had Amazon all competing. The government said if you can't show this to the UK audience, and if you're going to buy all these games and not allow anyone to see the games, then we're going to have to step in. And I think that was the first point in which this government has said, now we need an arbitration board on board, a governance on board for the Premier League, because it's getting out of control. Because you're not giving back to the pyramid anything in terms of financial reward for being in this pyramid.
Yeah, and I think the way it's going, it said that, a lot of the model that the Premier League based it on was to do with the American model with their NFL. American football.
Yeah.
The way they do it. So, now we see a lot of players doing these interviews after games. You've got obviously these Amazon type things in documentaries. So the Premier League encourage all of that stuff to happen.
Yeah.
And they based it a while ago back on, this is from Man United, who are the biggest revenue creators in the whole of the Premier League, even though they're rubbish football team. They do have the most money, and they still do to this day. They make more money than any other football team in the world.
Yeah, because worldwide they're one of the most followed teams.
Yeah, so their match day revenue, when you break it down, is they make about this was in 2016, so it's probably more now, but they made 106.6 million in 2016. So essentially, from all the tickets that they would have sold, they could buy a Declan Rice now, 100 million just from selling tickets. That's pretty good.
And obviously shirts.
So that comes under the commercial
huge
revenue.
Yeah.
So the commercial revenue, again, 2016, they made 268.3 million. And in broadcasting revenue, they made 140.4 million. So that's the biggest club in the world, essentially what they're making. Sky come in, that's probably near enough doubled now in the amount of money that they make. So yeah, essentially the Premier League is kind of head and shoulders above every other country because they can't make as much money in their leagues, and it's probably going to continue to go that way, if not get worse, I suppose. Going to be more difficult for fans to see games. Eventually, at some stage, there was a cap. I don't know if this still stands. You two have been to away games more often than me, but apparently it used to be 30 quid cap for a ticket.
Away game, 30 quid.
Yeah, now it's just A, B and C, and if it's European, it's a stupid amount. If it's a Class B...
So they got rid of that then?
Yeah.
When did that change, Gareth?
See that
So they're trying. I think what will happen next with the Premier League is they're going to try and take it more international and try and show it more in America, China, and by doing that we will see less football at home, to the point where they have spoken about it, and I think there would be uproar if it happened, but you might find that Man City has played in Dallas.
Someone has turned round to their squad and said that the day that the Premier League finishes, they're going to Thailand.
Spurs are going to Australia.
Well, it's being stopped.
Newcastle.
Yeah, it's being stopped.
Yeah, and that's actually as well, I read that's influenced by the Premier League, that they want to send all the biggest clubs to all four corners of the earth.
Yeah. So in order to sell the brand.
Yeah. So the more and more that happens, it could be that we find Arsenal-Tottenham is next time played in somewhere in America, Hong Kong.
Well, Todd Bowley wants to influence the Premier League to do a best south by best north.
2022.
Yeah. So in 3 years, so what are we getting on for it now? Yeah, so soon the cap is £30 for away tickets. That was in 2022.
3 years.
Yeah. So that could go. Then you're going to start to dilute the possibility of fans being able to see their clubs home and away. They're going to find the money from elsewhere, so they might just play the game abroad. And we might start to see Real Madrid, Barcelona at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the middle of the season instead of Tottenham Arsenal because they're playing out in Hong Kong.
Because they're doing the American football in UK, aren't they?
Yeah, it's done at Spurs, isn't it?
Yeah, and Wembley.
And
yeah.
Wembley.
I mean, I'd hate that. I would rather see Tottenham Arsenal at home, Emirates,
Yeah.
whatever, than Barcelona come over here and play the El Clasico at the Emirates.
Yeah.
I think that would just be, what is the point?
Yeah, I agree. No, you've got to stick to where...
But then, I suppose for us, I don't really care about Real Madrid and Barcelona, but I bet you there's a good few Spanish fans that absolutely love Arsenal and Premier League teams because it's a completely different product. So I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but that is my VAR for the week.
Very good, very good.
This is the Morning Kickoff Footy Podcast. It's like the Premier League. It's not for everyone. If you want to mention, shout out, or to tell us where in the world you are listening from, text the show on 0753 717 1722.
Right, we talk about VAR, goal line technology and all the rest of it in the previous podcast, right? Coventry to score in the dying second of extra time and for that to be ruled out because one player's got a size 9 boot on and the other one had a size 10. And that's what ruled it offside. It was disgraceful.
We had it with Arsenal's, mate, his arse sticking out.
that would have changed the game.
That was close.
Gabriel's arse sticking out on the...
But they still didn't show it, did they? That way. They still showed the VAR from a different angle.
Yeah.
I mean, I've no way of knowing. It was very close.
Yeah, it felt unfortunate. And again, that's that VAR thing, isn't it? Where should it be a whole body over the line rather than just...
You can't do it by a fake paper.
That's what it was.
And that's what they're doing.
You cannot do it. It's not within the spirit of the game.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else as well. When they gave the offside for Coventry, everyone was focused on where they drew the lines, wasn't they?
Yeah.
Nobody was focused on where the ball was in relation to the foot. And my problem is this. You can get a fag paper drawing them blue and red lines and say, it's a fag paper offside, right? Why haven't we got that kind of technology to decide when that ball actually left that foot? Because they're talking about a frame. Frame forward, frame back. Leave it on that frame. But we all know, looking at angles, as we did with the Newcastle game, was it out at the goal line? Was it out? Was it in?
Yeah.
And they sky ran it from different angles. Now you're looking at someone's boot and they're just going, oh, yeah, that frame looks good. He's offside by a fag paper. The technology does not exist for when the ball was kicked as much as what it does now, where the player's foot, arm, toenail, ponytail, man bum.
Yeah.
I mean, Ange came out and said he doesn't even celebrate goals now because
He can't.
he's waiting for someone 5 miles down the road to give it.
No, this is the thing. You like, as a supporter, I mean, obviously I don't get it in Div 2, but as a supporter watching Chelsea or watching a big game like Liverpool, Man United, something like that, you go to celebrate a goal and like, yeah, great goal. That was a fantastic goal. And you feel for the players and the supporters and it's like, oh, they've scored a fantastic goal of the season here. And it's chalked up offside.
Yeah. On the other side of it, obviously I was cheering when they marked it as offside in that game. So
I went out in the garden.
yeah, so that's the thing, right? If you had a camera on me and you had a camera on Gary, he would have gone, I'm turning it off. It's annoying. It's ridiculous. I need 5 minutes. And just walked off. Whereas I'm sat in front of the telly going, yes, offside. Ha, ha, ha. Laughing. You've run off celebrating. So it's the contrast on that is kind of interesting because I had a great moment when they called it offside. I was cheering. Fantastic, how funny. You went off and celebrated. What a waste of time. Look at the disappointment on his stupid Tottenham face. And then there's you going, you bastards. VAR, what a joke. You were probably screaming at it saying it was definitely onside. How is that offside? So I kind of like that bit, but obviously it's annoying for the team that when
It
happens
is.
to you. If the shoe was on the other foot and it was Arsenal, I'd be like,
I genuinely want, if I watch Arsenal and say Arsenal and Liverpool play, I expect a great game, right? So if I see a great goal go in, I feel great for whoever's just scored that, whether it be Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Spurs. I just want to see that great goal go in. I want to see the great bit of football skill leading up to it or whatever. But if you're going to get something that in the build-up to that has caused the goal not to be given, I fully get why Chelsea's goal got disallowed. You can't just go and push someone as they're about to head the ball, receive the ball, whatever. Just can't. Pochettino got that wrong. But when we're talking about minor discrepancies where it's strength and one's stronger than the other,
and incredible moments like the Coventry games where it got
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would have just been historical.
And
they've
Coventry
ruined it.
Coventry, I said decided, not decided. Coventry deserved that. They really did. Coming back down from 3-0 to 3-3-all.
We were jumping around the living room. We were screaming when that went in. And then, like you say, then you come back down to earth. You just knew they weren't going to win that penalty shootout.
It was sad, but
It would have made a great football moment.
This is the, as you said in the previous podcast, this is the unfinished article. This is what's playing around in the Premier League. And Sweden, is it Sweden have turned around, or Switzerland? They're not going to use VAR. And that, to me, tells you everything you need to know about VAR. If a country has decided they will not implement it because it is so bad at the moment.
I think they just brought it in to give people like Oli a job.
He's got his own VAR.
I'd love to be in the VAR room. I actually said that when I went on my course. I said, how do you end up in the VAR room?
You've got to be a Premier League ref for a start, not an under 9.
True.
So you don't want to do men's refereeing. So that ain't going to work, is it?
Yeah, the VAR room's safe, innit? I like it up there.
Yeah, but then
Go away from everyone.
You're the reason why your boss is going, we want our referees to be safe. Ollie won't referee a men's game.
I'll VAR in a men's game. I'll do the VAR.
No, that just means you're going to go on a Sunday, pick someone's phone up and go, yeah, that's a goal. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I did it myself, didn't I?
Exactly. You are VAR.
Yeah.
Very annoying, some or other.
You're listening to Gazza, Soren, Oli Maguire, and Deano on the Morning Kickoff Footy Podcast. How they keep getting into the Apple UK podcast charts is beyond me. What does offside even mean?
News of the season, I suppose the big one for me, I guess, was Harry Kane leaving Tottenham after 19 years.
Harry Kane,
I know Dino loves him,
has gone to play semi-professional football, right? And do you know what? Everyone, even fucking Steve Morris, right? And he's like, essentially, he's my boss. He tells me what I can and what I can't do. He can't get it in his head that Harry Kane's playing semi-professional football, right? He goes on about these fucking goals that he's not scored, the majority of which are penalties, and the majority of which are not in a high-stakes game. You put Harry Kane in any high-stakes game, the Euros, when we was relying on Raheem Sterling to get us through to the next round, to the next round, to the next round. We play a nondescript game against San Marino or whoever the fuck it was. Harry Kane scores 4 and it's, oh yeah, he's back on fire, he's back, he's scoring and all the rest of it. When he didn't get the move to Man City, he didn't fucking score in 16 games for Spurs. He is fucking awful.
Come on.
I mean, I have no comment, really. I think what he's done is amazing. I'd have him in the Arsenal team in a heartbeat up front.
Mate, he can't fucking do anything for England.
He's in the semis of the Champions League this week.
Yeah, he's done something in Germany in his first season that no other player has ever done.
English player.
And that's it.
Foreign player. English player or foreign player.
I don't know, but either way, you just...
He's in the fucking...
He's done something incredible and you put it down to, he's playing in the Farmers League.
He is. It's like playing in the Sunday League. That's all it is.
Nah.
Look at what he did when the top 2 teams played. Fuck all.
They lost.
Useless.
I think he's good. I think Tottenham probably overrated him for what he was, but I think he's still
had he gone
striker.
to Man City, done something at Man City, I'd have been like, yeah, all day long.
He'd still be taking the penalties for Man City.
But would he though?
Yeah, I think so.
But it'd have been a terrible start to the season because he don't do fuck all for the first 15 games, does he? Don't show up for Spurs. You put him on semi-professional and then all of a sudden he's banging goals left, right and centre. But you put him in against a decent fucking club, 9 times out of 10, he don't do it. Does fuck all for England.
Has Son had a great year?
No, not as good as last year. Mind you, no, he at the moment he's our top scorer and top assist.
Yeah, but when Kane was
the last 2 months, I reckon he's...
And when Kane was there, Son was like proper good, wasn't he?
No.
Yeah.
When Son was playing on his own and Kane was out, Son was scoring for fun.
But we're relying on him. I don't think we should be playing him down through the middle. I think he should go back out left all day long. He's not a striker as such.
You nearly said there is not a top
striker. He's not a top number 9.
Yeah.
He should be out wide left.
Semi-professional playing in the fucking Bundesliga.
No, I was on about Son. He should be playing out left.
I'm still after Kane, wanker.
What I'm saying is Kane
Kane
in that team with Son made Son, I think, better.
No. I think the stats say that Son played better when Kane weren't in it and he was scoring.
He did score a lot of goals when Kane was out.
There you go.
He's their top scorer this season.
There you go.
And top assists.
There you go.
Madison's been poor, especially since
He's been injured, though, hasn't he?
No, he's been playing, but since he's been back from injury, he's been
Yeah.
really poor. Should be dropping him, really, I think.
What was your other point other than your Harry Kane one?
I got this theory about Arsenal over the last few weeks.
Oh, go on then.
And this is my little story. You'll like this. Well, you might not. But, right, so when Arsenal had their little wobble and lost to Villa and Bayern Munich, Squid had 2 Spurs shirts in his house. I picked those up last week, and Arsenal haven't lost since I picked those up, because that was my present from the boys for my birthday.
So you saying your Spurs shirts were a bad luck charm in Squid's house?
Well, you got knocked out the Champions League and he lost at home to Villa. The week and a half he had those 2 shirts in his house. I thought about posting them back for his letterbox before the game on Sunday, but I don't think I would have got them in there.
Can't you just wipe your arse?
Could have done.
Yeah. Well, if we don't win the league, then Gary, it's obviously your fault and
Well, I'm gonna
Squid's
take-
stupid house.
You're not going to win the league.
I'll take them. I'll take
Well,
them back.
We might.
You might.
You
do.
won't.
There's still a chance.
You won't. You will not have a podcast where you say Arsenal are top of the league and have won the league.
You might do.
You will not be on a podcast
Whilst there
saying
is
that.
still a chance.
The only thing
I
that's going to
will
be happening
believe-
now is there'll be a little bit of a soundbite saying Arsenal are the most annoying supporters. Arsenal are the most annoying supporters. That's all that's going to happen right now.
So do you think both teams are going to go undefeated for the rest of the season?
Yeah. Noel Gallagher felt that he was going to lose the Prem to Arsenal on goal difference. That's what he felt.
Well, they might if they draw one of those games.
That's kind of why I took the cash out.
They only need to drop. Well, they need to draw one, don't they? Then they'll be level with you. Is that right?
Yeah,
If you
if
win all yours.
City, if Tottenham take any points off of Man City, we can win the league if we win the rest of our games. Both teams have to win every game.
Hopefully, Man City go on and do it. There's nothing worse than doing a fucking podcast with you next year.
Just sack him.
having won the league.
Champions, we're the champions.
Yeah, every fucking podcast reminding me.
Yeah, and I will as well.
Yeah, I know, because you are the most fucking annoying bastard that I know.
Because Arsenal fans are the most
Arsenal
annoying
are the
fans.
bastards.
Can you not just sack him?
Why would I do that?
They won't annoy you.
You might have to if Arsenal win the league, and there's still a chance. Sky and the Premier League having sex with each other. It's going to be an evil baby.
Yep, this is like
Sorin.
Sorin and Ellie.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be right in the head. It's gonna have a hoof print right in the
Probably,
front.
yeah.
Are we any nearer to find out who's gonna be the father of your baby?
Right, well.
Turner. I knew something was wrong when Ellie texted me to say I think it's Turner.
Because Ellie texts you all the time, does she?
Not all the time, but I gave a good odds, 3-1. But I didn't realise he's made 6 of the girls pregnant in your block.
Yeah, well, that does sound like Turner.
And he's not even out on day release, so.
Yeah.
Turner never pulls out.
I think Ollie, wants a fiver on Sorin.
Well, the Matty goes on about having sex, and he'll fuck anything.
Literally anything.
In any hole.
On that note, this is the penultimate podcast.
Yeah.
So we will be back just after the Prem finishes for our last episode of this season. So thank you very much for everyone who has continued to listen.
And the rest of you, get downloading.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Sorin will be back for the next one, I imagine.
Yeah, that's when the craziness will be back.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And the C-bomb.
Well, no. Gazza's got that again.
Or the hoof
Again.
print. Or the hoof print.
I think he dropped 4 C-bombs.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting next to a gooner. What would you expect?
He just spanked his team. So, yeah. Ciao. Ciao for now.
We will see you on the next episode. Enjoy. Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Fuck me, you call me off duty. Well, that went quicker than I expected. All that talk of football, I nearly fell asleep. Anyway, if that's what you like, if this is your bag, if you can cope with the droning noise of Oli Maguire, then tune in next time for more of the same old bollocks. Leave a review, subscribe, share, and tell your friends. Thank you for listening.